Hi guys, Ryback Airsoft here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over my WE GBBR Scar H. We're going to do a normal format, externals, internals, who's and hows and whys, and a few caveats to kind of making this last a bit longer from my experience of building this so far. So let's get into it. So let's get into the external portion. We'll start tip to butt. So starting up front, we have a PTS 3-prong flash hider. Pretty nice. It does ping when you fire it, so that's even better. Wads in laser light box. This is a plastic version, mostly there for the aesthetics, because the rail does have a step down, so I kind of wanted that flat, that flat area because my brain wouldn't allow me to have it empty. Front iron sight is stock. I do have a double bell rail. This is similar to the PTS MREX rail. It's just half the price. Caveat to this is use your OEM screws that you originally got with the Scar instead of using the screws that come with it. They're not long enough to interface in with the kind of the brackets on the inside of the Scar's upper receiver. Add a bit of thread lock as well to that. Not super glue, thread lock. Kieran Ryan will appear out of nowhere if I didn't put that in there. Further on back, I have a Panda Tac. They were originally called Temu before Temu was an online shipping distributor. In Ranger Green, this is just a CR123A holder. I kind of put it on all my rifles that I'm using. I think it just looks a bit cool. It adds a bit of like, what's that? A bit of je ne sais quoi. So normally I would have a 123A which I can use in the pec box, or let's say if I'm running my EOTech or something like that. The sling setup. So the sling that I have is a Helicon 2-point sling in olive drab. Very similar to the T-Rox sling that I have by Tac Belt UK. It's a slightly denser foam, which I like. It does have a Velcro strip on it, so I have my little name tape there. Fairly nice one-hand adjustment, all plastic hardware, and it has a little battery holder that you can put like AA's, AAA's, 123A's, Skittles if you want. Put fucking Skittles or M&M's in there. But I digress. The optic setup. The optic is a Navrich LVPO. This is a 1-to-4 times optic. I have it on the stock mount. I actually quite like this mount. It's a bit higher. And a RMR. I don't know where I got this RMR. I got it with the LVPO. Nice setup. It does have a kill flash on the front to fill out the sniper aesthetic. The magazines are stock. I do have a bit of the British Army green tape, just to kind of add to the greenery of the rifle, and I just think it looks cool. Further on from that, the pistol grip. Pistol grip is a PTS one. This does take standard GBB M4 pistol grips. Fairly nice, fairly comfortable. I do like the beaver tail on the back of it as well. Stock. Apart from the tape. So I have the green tape and the black tape. A lot of the reference photos I see of people running Scars in like the real world, they have like tape on here. I don't know what it's used for, but I thought it was cool. Apart from that, that is my external portion of the GBB Scar. Oh, actually, I do have wads and M-Lock rail covers. These are just literally for, you know, my hand so it doesn't get all cut up. So internally, I haven't done a whole lot to this setup. I feel it doesn't need it at the minute. So I've just added a new barrel, a new booking, a new kind of like hop-up nub, and then a few bits in the nozzle. So the barrel is a Crazy Jet 370mm barrel that's paired with a 9-ball purple booking and then a Maple Leaf Omega nub, the weird fucking like Ultramarines symbol looking yoke. That's my hop setup. The hop up is brilliant in this. It's like a AEG one, so if you pull the dust cover back, you can adjust it with your finger instead of opening it and using a tool, like let's say on the MSK. In the nozzle, what I've got in the nozzle is a 150% nozzle spring and an M-Pass. So the M-Pass is there because I live in Ireland, so we have a 1 joule limit. So I have this set to about 0.8, 0.85 of a joule on 2/8. so that way it'll give me a bit of leeway in the heat, and if it gets really cold I can crank it up to, I can open it up a bit more. So that's my thinking, or that's the reason why you would have an impasse. The nozzle spring is just so when the rifle is recoiling, so when it is going back and forth, the nozzle won't get stuck and it'll be able to pick up BBs a lot easier. So it's a fairly simple setup. From what I've read, that people do end up replacing the trigger and all the sears inside. Apparently they wear down over time, but that's consistently across WE GBBRs. The two that I haven't had those issues yet, but I haven't put more than a couple of thousand rounds through them, so we will see over time. So that's the internal portion of the build.
And I don't ever slow up. I stay young, no, I never grow up. I keep working to the point I throw up. And if you cross me, it was good to know ya. I'm impatient, I don't ever slow up. I stay young, no, I never grow up.
So the caveats to this build. My recommendation is to buy a set of Loctite thread lock, not Loctite super glue, Loctite thread lock. It comes in a red bottle. It's a blue goop. You put a bit on the screws when you're putting them in. You crank them down hand tight, not anything more, and then you just leave it to set overnight. That would be my recommendation. So maybe if you're going to play Airsoft on Sunday, do it on Thursday or Friday night. That way it'll give it enough time. So I've thread locked all the screws that need to be held down. So there's 5 on the stock portion, 1 on the top, 2 on the starboard side, and 2 on the port side. So with that, I've just took them out, a little bit of thread lock in. Same with the rail, just a little bit of thread lock, and including there's a screw under here and there's 2 under here that hold the barrel in place. Whereas a little bit on the actual hop-up stabilizer as well, so there's 6 screws here and 6 screws on this side. Just tiniest bit, hand tight, getting it done. My other recommendation is to buy spare parts. So a spare nozzle, spare kind of, spare bits that that are going to break down over time. Your nozzle is made out of plastic, so it will eventually wear down. So always good to have a spare nozzle. Apart from that, it is a fairly nice GBBR. Now I've only used it in 1 game so far, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great hard recoiling setup. Very nice. It's different as well. It's different than all the M4s that are on the field. Bar that, that's everything that I have to say about my WE Scar. I'll probably do an update in a while after I've gamed it a bit more and I've done more upgrades to it, but this is an initial overview. I've been Ryback. Thank you very much.